This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. Rob McConnell here, coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And, of course, you can always visit the X-Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net to find out when your favorite program that we air here is going to be airing in your area. One website, www.xzbn.net. And don't forget, starting May the 1st, the X-Zone TV channel is going to be available to all marine vessels around the world. We're going to be on cruise ship lines. We're going to be on commercial vessels, yachts, oil rigs as well. And we're also going to be available to supply people with high-speed data on the brand new satellite network that we're part of. So for more information on that, the website will be active on May the 1st at www.xzbnradiotv.com. Let's go to Florida now and talk to two of our good friends, MaryJo Pfister and, of course, Greg Bush. Now, MaryJo Pfister is co-lead investigator, EVP specialist, and case manager. She's a retired school studies teacher. She has had a lifelong interest in the paranormal, with experiences throughout her life. Her first was as a young child in a room where 2 violent murders occurred. She lived in 2 haunted houses. She enjoys the historical aspect of the paranormal as well. Now, Greg, her better half, is the other co-lead investigator. He has also had many personal experiences and set out on a quest to record and document proof of paranormal activity. Greg is also assistant case manager for the team. His background is finance and as a retired golf professional. First of all, I thought golf is what you did when you retired.
Well, it is, but
All right. Hey, guys, welcome back. Great talking to you. How are things with our good friends at Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations?
Hi, Rob. We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Tell me, have you guys done any new investigations that you'd like to share with the X-Zone Nation tonight?
Well, actually, yes. We just did one last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a local one right here in Port St. Lucie. And we're still going through some of the evidence, but there's a chair that they seem to feel that the activity was centered on. And we got some actually intelligent orb activity moving around the chair, which is pretty interesting.
Is it uncommon to have intelligent orb activity?
I think the orbs that we see mostly are dust or other things. So, yes, seeing intelligent orb activity is pretty unusual and pretty valid.
So what is intelligent orb activity? How can you tell the dust orb from the intelligent orb activity?
Well, if it's dust or something like that, it's going to be moving in a pattern like dust would, sweeping from left to right across the room or swirling across the room. This particular orb seemed to come from the floor, hold, and then move in a direct path to the right. That's not what dust would do. And this happened several times throughout the investigation, and it was always at the chair.
What is your explanation for that? Well, let's hold on because I've got to take a commercial break, and I'd rather do the break and then talk to you folks about this and Exo Nation when we come back. MaryJo Pfister and Greg Bush with Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations are going to share with us more of the investigations that they've done. Plus, we're going to get an update of the Para-Unity Conference this August. And if you'd like to get more information, their website is www.offthetраilsparanormalinvestigations.org. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And we'll all be back on the other side of this break from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Hello, I'm Pete Marsh. With my daughter Justina, we will be presenting the new radio show, Too Good to Be True. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But with the help of Justina's amazing gifts, we're going to gain insight into questions that don't yet have complete answers. Have you wondered who built Stonehenge and for what reason? Why are crop circles found in the same region as Stonehenge and elsewhere? Are crop circles a hoax, or are they created with technologies that we have little knowledge of? Who built the pyramids in Egypt and also in other countries? How and why were they built? Was the Titanic switched with the Britannic as part of a gigantic insurance fraud, or for more insidious reasons? What caused the Tunguska event when trees were flattened over an 800 square mile area in Siberia? Will the new insights be too good to be true? Well, that will depend on what you are prepared to believe. Please join us as we start on this journey together. For more information on Too Good to Be True, visit www.xzbn.net.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Welcome back, everyone. MaryJo Pfister and Greg Bush are with us from the Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations. Their website is www.offthetrailparanormalinvestigations.org. We were talking about this intelligent orb that seemed to be centered around a chair. And what are orbs believed to be?
Well, the idea or the theory is that orbs are spirits or spirit energy. And I think that's true of some of them, not all of them. Of course, there's skeptics who say it's all dust or it's all water droplets. But I think some of them are truly spirit energy.
I also know that some orbs have actually been identified and confirmed to be mold pollen and mold spores.
Yes, that's true as well.
So how do we know, or what is the hypothesis about an orb being a spirit? Because many people believe that ghosts are spirits. Now we have orbs being spirit. Which way do we go?
The orb is a ghost presenting itself as a ball of energy.
How do we know an orb is a ball of energy?
Well, I'm calling it a ball of energy because it's round and it is moving, it's active, so there's energy involved.
Has any energy ever been measured at an orb or on an orb or with an orb?
Yes, with the millimeter as well as the K2 meter.
And for our listeners who don't know what a millimeter is or a K2 meter is, could you explain it to them?
So millimeter measures electromagnetic energy in the area. And when we talk about an intelligent orb activity and showing up, we'll see a spike in the electromagnetic energy on the millimeter. And then we have also backed it up with actual video of an orb leaving that millimeter right after the spike. So we can say that, that was the energy that caused that spike.
Okay. So if it's energy, I'm having a problem understanding why some people see full-size apparitions that are apparently energy, and then you've got these little specks that are energy. How are they correlated to the same thing of being a spirit?
That's a good question. And of course, we're speaking in theories here because we don't know for sure.
Okay.
but I believe that the ghost chooses to manifest itself in different ways. There's the orbs. There's, of course, the full apparition. Sometimes people talk about shadow figures or partial apparitions. So I think it's dependent on how that person, because that's really what a ghost is. It's a person without a body, I think. It depends on how that person decides to present themselves.
How do you know if an orb is not the spirit of an animal? Because if animals are alive, then animals too would have energy. And if a person can be a spirit, either in a ghost or an orb, how do we know between that the orb is a spirit of a person and not of another living creature that has passed on?
Okay, another good question. And I don't know that we always do. Because yes, animals do have spirits. They do continue after they leave this world. And so, yes, it's possible that there could be an animal as presenting itself as an orb. So the orb that we saw at our client's home, yes, it could be an animal. I did not pick up any animal sounds, however, on EVPs. So,
well, would you? Do you always pick up sounds in a place where there's a spirit?
Not always.
Okay.
No, not always. But if I'm going to go from animal or person, if I'm hearing voices more than animals, and I'm not picking up anything else of animals, perhaps a smell,
right,
or an animal brushing up against you,
which I have had several times.
Why is it some people can feel the presence or see a spirit or an apparition, and other people in the same room can't?
Got good questions tonight, Rob.
Oh, thank you.
I think it could be a couple of different reasons. Maybe the people who are not seeing it really don't want to. Perhaps they have a fear of seeing it. Another reason could be because the spirit only wants a certain person to see it. But maybe that person reminds them of somebody that they knew.
But if the spirit is energy, and strictly energy, how would the spirit control who sees it and who doesn't?
That's a good question. I'm going to tell you, I don't know. That's one of those things we need to research.
Well, let's look at this the other way. What do we know that is fact when it comes to spirits and ghosts?
Not a whole lot. It's still in the research phase. So we have a lot of theories and a lot of ideas. But until one of us dies and comes back again and can sit down and talk to people, we don't have a lot of facts.
Why do you think that hasn't happened yet? Because even Harry Houdini was going to try and come back to see his wife after he passed, and he never did.
Right. And I think there are some people who have come back, because you do hear stories about, my husband came back, my mother came back, and we talked. But I don't think they come back long enough to really explain everything. Maybe they're coming back just to comfort that person that they left.
But could it also be that person is so stressed and in such duress that the communication or the appearance is actually a manifestation of their own mind, and it's the mind that is trying to help with their grief and bring some sort of closure?
I think that's possible. I definitely do. But there are times when somebody will have an ill relative and know before they even get the phone call that the relative is passed, because that relative has come to visit them.
But at that time, is it the visit of a ghost, or is it
a psychic premonition?
Good question. Again, it could be either one.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to ghost investigating, and you know the quest for the smoking gun, how do we go about getting it? Like you people, when you go out on an investigation, how do you proceed? How do you go to get the evidence or try to get the evidence? What is your procedures?
When we go on an investigation, of course, first I have spoken with the person a few times and gotten an idea of what's going on.
Right.
And if what is happening is really paranormal.
Right.
We'll go into the house or the building. We, of course, do the EMF sweeps. We use the K2 meter and the mill meter and walk around, see if we can find any evidence of actual electric leakage, fuse boxes, things like that. And once we've done that to get the baseline, we also take pictures around the house before we start doing any investigating. And then once we do start the investigation, we do the EVP sessions where we set up and try to speak to any spirits that are there. We take the pictures. We have audio recordings. We use the spirit box, which of course is rather controversial, but I think it gives us a lot of good results.
What kind of results have you had with the spirit box?
Oh, well, we did an investigation of a hotel a few weeks ago, and we were sitting around in a circle, and I said, "Do you know who we are? If you know who we are, would you say our names?" And I had the spirit box on, and through the spirit box came 3 names, and it was 3 of us who were sitting there.
Right.
And MaryJo was one of them. And MaryJo was not a common name.
True. So that brings up a question. How would this spirit know who you are without prior knowledge of you?
Well, I think when we come into the building, we call each other by name. And I think spirits are listening, and they can figure out who MaryJo is and who Sandy is. It would be just like if you were in the room.
Why would the spirit want to be contacted? Why would they want to have their presence known?
Perhaps they have a message for somebody. Perhaps they just want to be noticed.
Okay, if they have a message for somebody, why would they give that message to a group of paranormal investigators instead of the person the message was meant for?
Maybe because the person that the message is meant for is not being receptive. Maybe they're too emotional to hear it.
How much of the paranormal activity is based on the agent or the person who is the center of the paranormal activity?
When you're talking about the center, you mean the person, for example, who's home?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
How much does the person's actual, let me rephrase it. If a person doesn't believe their house is haunted, they're certainly not going to call a paranormal investigator. That makes common sense, right?
That's right.
So the person who is calling in the paranormal investigator or the investigation team must have a belief that their house could be haunted, and if a house is haunted, it's usually with spirits or ghosts. So does that fit into the formula when you're doing your investigation to see if that person's own beliefs are a factor within the investigative techniques?
Oh, yes, of course. And sometimes people will have a lively imagination and perhaps put too much into certain incidences, and maybe there really isn't paranormal activity going on. But yes, if somebody is receptive to the idea of communication from the other side, that person would definitely be communicating with more often than somebody who's not.
All right, stand by. We've got to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. X-Zone Nation, MaryJo Pfister and Greg Bush are our guests this hour. They're with Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations. Their website is www.offthetrailsparanormalinvestigations.org. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We'll be back after the news. Don't go away.
Dreams are our personal gateways into infinite wisdom. Don't miss shamanic counselor and indigenously trained dream decoder Sandra Corcoran's inspiring book, Shamanic Awakening Between the Dark and the Daylight. This remarkable work chronicles Sandra's 35 years of experience with diverse wisdom keepers and her initiations throughout the Americas and across the British Isles, Turkey, Greece, and Egypt. Sandy's knowledge of symbology, psychology, and myth influence her dream blog and workshops. Sandy offers private tarot readings, international journeys, a meditative CD, as well as her book, Shamanic Awakening, to encourage you as you navigate this earth walk, creating a deeper connection to yourself and all that is. Find this and more at Sandy's website, starwalkervisions.com.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Hello, I'm Justina Marsh, and with my dad Pete, we are going to present a new show called Too Good to Be True. Together, we are aiming to discover more truths about this world and beyond. Do you have unanswered questions about the world? Do you ever wonder about aliens, conspiracy theories, or the universe? There are many shows discussing subjects such as pyramids or UFOs, but we want to relay this information based on our own research, including from spiritual means. Hopefully, listeners will be helped with their own beliefs and will appreciate the psychic insights that add to the previous research and information. We both look forward to sharing this insight and beginning this journey with our listeners. Visit xzbn.net for more information about when to listen.
Welcome back, everyone. Ghosts are the topic of the hour with our good friends from the Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations in Florida. Their website is www.offthetrailsparanormalinvestigations.org. In your experience, MaryJo and Greg, are there more incidents of the paranormal, or is the increase being caused by public awareness?
Well, we're not claiming that we have all the answers, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the more mainstream this is, the more people pay attention to what might be going on in their home.
Okay.
And perhaps they feel more accepting of saying, yes, I think I have something going on in my home.
So what would be the first clue to someone that their home, in fact, is being visited by spirits or ghosts?
Oh my gosh, there's so many ways. They might hear sounds that there's no logical explanation for.
Mm-hmm.
TVs might go on and off. Computers might go off and on. They might have problems with other electrical appliances that they have in their house. Maybe they're even being touched, feeling someone touch their arm or perhaps their head. People talk about shadows that they see right out of the corner of their eye. So there's a lot of ways that you might feel that you have, what do I want to say, noticed that there's something going on in your house.
Do people usually see the apparitions?
Not usually,
No.
but a lot of people will say that they see something from the corner of their eye. Something runs across the doorway, or something's in the other room, and then, of course, when they turn their head, there's nothing there.
Wow.
There is an actual reason for that. Our eyes don't see in a full spectrum except around the corners of our eyes. So when you say you saw something out of the corner of your eye, then you turned your head
Mm-hmm.
and it was gone, that makes total sense, because when we use full spectrum cameras to see the spirits, that's what the corner of our eyes see. The center of our eyes do not. So when we turn to look, of course, it disappears.
Well, that's interesting. Now, when you go into a house and you use a full spectrum camera, what kind of images do you bring back?
Well, sometimes it's orbs.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it is a shadow. I have not picked up a full apparition on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think ever. We do sometimes see things move, which would be indirectly spirit activity, because you're not seeing the spirit, but you're seeing the result of what the spirit has done.
Mm-hmm. So is that part of the, would that be classified as telekinesis?
Well, if the spirit's doing it, it could be, since spirits don't really have a body, but they are being able to move things and manipulate objects.
In your years of experience doing paranormal investigations, what is the most compelling case that you and Greg and the other members of the Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations have worked on?
Well, I think the poltergeist activity case that we worked on was pretty compelling.
Can you share that with us?
Sure. It was a home in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman who lived there told me that things were just being tossed around the room. She described it as things coming from the ceiling. And when we went to do the investigation, I walked in the front door and was hit in the face with some pebbles from an aquarium. And of course, in doing investigating, you have to be skeptical. You have to look for the rational, logical explanation.
Right.
And I was very carefully looking to see if somebody was throwing things when I wasn't looking, if somebody was hidden somewhere. And there was nobody throwing things when I wasn't looking, things would just come flying across the room. And I actually captured a couple of those with the camera. It would be pennies and pens, aquarium gravel, just little things like that. And then when we came back a second time, some weeks later, the activity had increased, and now it was candles and cold cream jars that were flying across the room.
Now, were these objects in the house prior to you folks getting there?
Yes, these were objects that were in the house.
Wow. Why do you think you are being targeted with the cold cream, with the pennies, with the pebbles from the aquarium?
I don't think we were being targeted any more than the people in the house are being targeted, but I think that the emotional climate in the house was very high, and this was the person's emotions, and maybe it was hitting us because we were there disturbing the equilibrium that he was seeking.
So when you say the person in the house, are you talking about a live person, or are you talking about a spirit?
No, I'm talking about a live person.
Mm.
Poltergeist activity is usually energy generated by a living person who has a very high emotional state, and the emotions just, he or she just can't handle them, doesn't know how to channel them.
I remember reading something, now that you mention it, by Hans Holzer when he was talking about poltergeist activity, that there's usually a young man or a young woman going through puberty that is involved in a poltergeist, yeah.
But it can also extend to other situations. Somebody who has experienced the death of someone very close to them, women going through menopause, somebody going through a very bad divorce. Any time that the emotions are running very high and you just can't channel them.
Have you ever come across, when you're doing an investigation, something that is evil, demonic? And how do you handle that?
Well, we have come across some pretty nasty spirits. As far as the demonic, possibly one time in all the investigations that we've done. And we don't do demonic. We are not demonologists. So if we do come upon a case where we think that a demon is involved, we're going to back off and get in touch with somebody who knows how to deal with the demons.
So these spirits can actually physically harm a person?
Oh, spirits can certainly harm you if they want to. Absolutely. People on our team, including Greg and I, we have been pushed, scratched, had our hair pulled. I was almost pushed down the stairs once.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, they can make you nauseous, give you headaches, make you feel like you're drained of energy. So yes, they can actually physically hurt you.
That is really startling. So how do you protect yourselves? You're going into a house to do a paranormal investigation. You're not expecting to be punched, you're not pulled or pushed or have something tossed at you. How do you protect yourselves? And when you leave the premise, how do you protect yourselves from not bringing something home with you?
Well, the team always says a prayer together before we go in. Many of us wear crosses. We also have crystals that we use. And we make ourselves strong on the inside so that when we go in, we can do the investigation. And when we leave, we also together say a prayer, and we're thankful that we've been saved. And we tell the spirits, and this usually works, but not always, you can't come with us. You are not welcome to come with us.
You go to a house, you find out there's a spirit there. What do you do then? How does the spirit stay, or do you have the spirit go towards the light? What do you do then?
That depends a lot on our client. And if the client is not really afraid of the spirit, but just wanted some sort of validation that something is in the house, then if they want the spirit to not have to leave, if they say we're willing to share our space, then we leave it at that. If they want the spirit to go, then we do encourage the spirit to go to the light. We will sage the house for them as a cleansing if they want to. We'll also use the holy water or the holy oil if they prefer that. And again, we're encouraging throughout the process the spirit to go to the light, that someone is waiting for you there, somebody that you cared about in your life, they're waiting for you. All you need to do is go to the light.
Why don't all spirits go to the light? Why do some hang around?
Well, maybe they're just not ready to yet. Maybe they still have things that they want to do. Maybe they're not a very nice spirit and have things that they want to do to the people that they didn't like in life. Or maybe they want to watch out for somebody that they cared about in life.
Could it be that the people in the house are the ones who are keeping the spirit there?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And sometimes we have had clients who say, oh, I talk to her every day. And we have to explain that if you want her to go to the light, which she should do, you need to stop talking to her every day because that's keeping her here.
But if the people who ask you to come in to see if there is a ghost speak to the ghost every day, why would they want you folks to come?
Sometimes they just really want validation from another person that they do have some activity in the house. And a lot of times, Rob, first thing that somebody will say to me on the phone is, you might think I'm crazy, but...
Yeah. And how often do you hear that?
I hear that a lot.
Really, eh?
I do. Or if it's not, you might think I'm crazy, it's my husband thinks I'm crazy. or my mother says I'm crazy. And then they go on with the story, and they want to be validated that something's going on, that they're not crazy.
How many times have you and Greg and the rest of your team of the members of the Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations been contacted by someone, and after your initial interview on the phone, you say to each other, you know what, there's nothing there. There's nothing we can do. How do you deal with that as far as with the client? How do you tell a client that you're not going to do an investigation? Our guests this hour, two people that I've had the pleasure of meeting, MaryJo Pfister and Greg Bush are our guests this hour, and we'll be back with both these fine folks when we come back from the other side of this break. Wrapping up this hour here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies.
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows.
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world. There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the 4 corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
Welcome back, everyone. MaryJo Pfister and Greg Bush are our special guests this hour. They are the 2 people behind Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations in St. Lucie, right?
Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie in the beautiful state of Florida. For more information on their group, to find out everything you need to know about investigating the paranormal, ghost hauntings, things that go bump in the night, what to wear when you're retired and play golf. www.offthetrailsparanormalinvestigations.org. Now, Greg, I have to ask you this question because you're the inspiration for it. Do ghosts change their clothes, or are they seen always wearing the same thing?
That's you really hit on something that's interesting. Good friend of ours, John Tenney, brought that up in one of his talks, and he said, do ghosts wear underwear?
Mm-hmm.
And are they appearing to us like we would expect them to? In other words, if you are expecting to see the haunting of a 18th century soldier,
yeah,
are they dressed the way you would expect them to look when they're not really looking that way?
So if they dress as we expect them to dress,
mm-hmm.
How do they know what we expect?
Good question. I think it probably goes along the same lines of, well, we have done EVP sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually answered the question before we ever asked it. So, can they read our minds? Can they look into what we are thinking and what we are, maybe our expectations?
Right.
I don't know. That's something that's it's a whole different angle.
And I've often wondered if ghosts appear in the clothes that they either were buried in or that they were wearing at the time of their death. Because if they are energy and it's an imprint in the electromagnetic field, wouldn't that make sense that if they do appear, since there's no energy in clothing, that the energy would not be part of the apparition? Therefore, the ghost would appear naked.
That's true. That's true. And I guess that would be the case. I mean, a lot of times you hear so many hauntings that say, well, they saw the woman in white. So it's always a woman in a white gown or something. And okay, is that what we're expecting to find, or is, like you said, is that how they died? They were in a white gown, or that's a question we gotta answer sometime.
Greg, what is your most perplexing part about being a paranormal investigator? What makes you scratch your head the most?
Why? I gotta think about this for a second, Rob. you caught me off guard here.
All right, let me ask Mary some question while you're thinking of that.
Okay,
I'm sorry I sprung that on you, but you inspired me, so I thought I'd ask you. Mary, what is your most frustrating part of being a paranormal investigator? What do you find that no matter what you do, this is the part that frustrates you the most?
I think what really frustrates me is when we have done the investigation and I'm speaking to the client afterwards and I'm giving suggestions for how to raise the positive energy in the house.
Yeah.
And they just kind of say, and then they call me back 3 or 4 weeks later and say, well, I'm still having activity. And I will say, well, did you get the salt lamp like I suggested? No. Well, are you letting the sun into your house every day? It gets too warm. And they're not doing anything that I've suggested. And then when I ask them why, well, I didn't think it was really that important.
Oh my gosh. That would be very frustrating.
It is frustrating.
So, Greg, did you come up with an answer yet?
Yeah, actually, looking at it from that point of view, it seems like we can never get a solid answer to our questions. In other words, when we are doing an EVP session and we are trying to find out, what exactly happened to this person. If we know that there was a murder, or if we know there was a suicide, well, why did you kill yourself? Or who killed you? You will never get an answer to that. And that, I don't know why that is, but it is a very frustrating part of the whole thing.
All right, tell us about this year's Para Unity Conference. That's going to be August 18, I think it's 18, 19, 20 in August, right?
That's right.
So tell our listeners all about it.
Well, we're excited about this because it's even bigger than it was last time. We're doing through almost all of Sunday. We're having breakout sessions on Saturday, which is something that we haven't done before.
I'm sorry, you're having a what?
Breakout sessions where
breakouts.
Instead of,
okay.
Yes. So instead of just having one speaker that we all go to hear, there'll be 3 or 4.
Right.
And people can choose what they want to hear about. So if they want to hear about how to use crystals, they can go to that talk. If they want to hear about how to cleanse a house, they can go to that talk. And we're having Rob Robinson back again to talk about cryptids. And we're having a Florida author come and speak with us, Dave Latham. He wrote about the ghosts in St. Augustine. And we're having the Yanceys, who are well-known in Florida, paranormal investigators. They're going to come and talk at the conference. So it's really shaping up to be really a great conference.
Well, that is super. That is truly super. And it's going to be in the same place it was last year?
It will be at the Fellsmere Old Schoolhouse, just like it was last year.
Yep.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, we're also having the spokesperson from MUFON come and talk as well.
Well, that's good. MUFON, Florida?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. So there's going to be something for everyone.
Yes, there is something for everyone. Of course, you're going to be there too.
Yeah, we're going to be there. And of course, we're going to be promoting the heck out of it, getting as many people through those doors as possible. What would you like to say to the listeners of the audience tonight who are sitting on the fence saying, geez, I don't know, ghosts real or ghost? I don't know. How can we push them towards the believer side? I mean, besides getting Larry Lawson to do that. He's a big guy. Just push him right over.
Yeah, he could.
So what are your words of wisdom for people who are deciding whether or not ghosts are real, if they should get involved in ghost investigations, how they go about it?
Well, I would suggest that they come to a conference or two and hear what we all have to say about ghosts and cryptids and aliens. I think if they listen, and then they can make some decisions, informed decisions, unless they're getting some actual facts or some opinions backed up by experience, and then they can make up their mind.
And what are your final thoughts, Greg?
I think along those lines, if you're someone who thinks you might be interested in joining a team, or starting your own team, I think you'd want to find a local team. Many of them are very open to you shadowing them. In other words, coming along on an investigation, seeing how it's done, seeing if that's for you.
Listen, you're an ex-pro golfer. Are there many haunted golf courses?
Yeah, with all the frustration out there,
Yeah.
I imagine there would be
A lot of residual.
a lot of residual energy.
Yeah, a lot of golfers getting clunked on the head by other golfers so frustrated they've tossed their golf clubs. Yeah. So are there haunted ghost golf courses?
Not the course itself that I've heard of, but of course the
Clubhouse,
the major buildings around there. Yeah, there definitely could be.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on. I look forward to our monthly chats. And of course, Exo Nation, if you'd like to get more information, here's their website, All right, got your pens? Here we go. Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations.org, and you can visit them on Facebook.com/Off the Trails Paranormal Investigations. Hey guys, take care of each other, and I look forward to speaking to you next month for another update from my favorite Ghostbusters, MaryJo Pfister, and of course, the one and only golfing legend who not only carries a club, but carries holy water and a cross, Greg Bush. Guys, take care of each other. Love to you both. Good night.
Good night, Rob.
Bye, guys. Exo Nation, we have to say so long for now. We'll be back on the other side of this break with the news as we finish off tonight's show here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, Xzone Radio TV. And of course, to find out when your favorite program is going to be airing on the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. Don't go away.